Just before I leave this compositing edit view and we do some bouncing, I just wanted to talk about this silence road and this narrow grey strip with a line going through it. I'll show you what this is for. If you had a noise on your clip that you wanted to get rid of and you wanted to mute the audio for a moment, this is the way you can do it. You identify the area. I actually haven't got any noise in this, but just say for the sake of argument, it was a little bit here. Select the R razor tool by pressing the R key on your computer keyboard. Click on the silence line here, silence area. Click and drag to the right. And now, when this piece of audio plays, when it gets to this point here, it will go into silence. Let's show you that.
Deep in the ocean or out space. Deep in the ocean or out space.
So you can hear when it got here, silence. It's a terrible mess at the moment, isn't it? What I've done, but you'll get the general idea. So that is the silence area, and very handy for getting rid of unwanted noise rather than having to sort of fade something down to nothing in the middle of a comp row. So it's a dedicated silence row, if you like, which can be incredibly handy. So once you are happy with your editing, you could press escape and Reason will play your finished composited clip. If you press the single row and close, if I was to close this screen now, it would just play take 7. See, up here and down here, same thing. If you want your composite to play, make sure this is not selected over here. Now this is a terrible mess, so I'm going to tidy this all up and come back to you when I've done that. Okay, so I've got a nice composited piece of audio, this clip running into this clip with a nice crossfade, and I'm really happy with what I've done. Now I could just close, press this close button, and then Reason will just play the result of this, and that'll be fine. But if you want to be a bit tidier, if you press bounce, I'll show you what happens. I'll click this button. Now at the top, audio track 1 bounced, and what this is, and you see it's jumped to single take mode. If I just play this.
Deep in the ocean or out into space.
That is the same as turning it off and playing the composite.
Deep in the ocean or out into space.
You see, so that new bounced track is lovely, and that's what appears in the clip overview area. And then, of course, if you're really happy, and make sure that you are, of course, before you do this, you could delete take 7 and take 6, and you could relabel this into something more meaningful. So basically, this audio track 1 bounce is your composited bits of audio all stitched together nicely. And so it's a nice, neat way to wrap things up. Now, if you right-click this comp overview and go down to this item bounce, there are 3 options. Bounce clips to new samples, bounce clip to disk, bounce clips to new recordings. So bounce clips to new samples, this will bounce your composited clip down to an audio clip which will appear in your browser for use in other songs. If I do that, the browser opens up and there's my little bit of audio, and if I play that.
Deep in the ocean or out into space.
If I wanted to, I could bring that into other songs. Okay, I don't particularly want to do that, but that shows me that I could do that. I'm going to close the browser. Let's right click this again. Bounce. Bounce clip to disk. If I click on this, you see they've got the dots showing that there's something else to be done. And I could pick a place on my computer, desktop or somewhere where I could save that. And various options there. I'm going to cancel that. Right click this again, bounce. And bounce clips to new recordings. Well, you see it's done the same again. So basically that is what happens when you press bounce over here. So those are the 3 options. So I'm going to delete these. And there I've got my finished product. So I'm going to close this down now. So I'm going to click this close button, or I could press escape, same thing, and play my piece of audio.
Deep in the ocean or out into space.
And apart from that little bit of sibilance on the word space, which I could deal with using one of the effects processors, in Reason, I'm pretty happy with my composited piece of audio. So I used to be pretty scared of this. In fact, I never bothered with it for many years. I haven't taken the trouble to learn it. I'm so glad I did, and I hope you found this useful and interesting.